Hey, you ever stop and think, wow, that would make a great story? Same here. On Cat's Stories, we pull together short tales from life that'll make you laugh, think, or just go, yep, been there. My name's Kathleen and let's get started. And for our next post, am I the idiot for telling my father I have bills to pay? I'm a 27F from the Philippines, and my siblings 30F, 35F, and I financially support our father 59M with a monthly allowance despite a difficult childhood. Our mom died when I was 6, and our dad left us with our grandmother, who passed away when I was 9. We had to move between relatives and often went without food. He prioritized supporting his siblings over us and started multiple families without our knowledge. My older sisters sacrificed their education to put food on our table and help with my education. Though we've harbored resentment, we've learned to let it go, understanding that some adults are just children trying to navigate through life, so maybe he was just lost. Now, we've achieved financial stability, and while inflation makes it tough, we agreed to provide a monthly allowance to our dad, who is with his current 4th family, which includes 3 young kids, 3 years, 1 year, and a baby. His partner is unemployed, and they rely on us. We've tried helping them start businesses, but they mismanage funds. Despite frustrations, we adore the kids and contribute to their needs while also reminding them, father and partner, that they need a source of income as we have financial responsibilities to ourselves and our future too. For Christmas, he asked for new appliances, groceries, etc., which we happily obliged. Along with his monthly allowance, we spent $200,000 plus on appliances, groceries, gifts, and 5 large Balabayan boxes of items for the kids, our father, and his partner. We also sent an extra $40,000 for their Christmas feast. Altogether, we spent nearly $250,000 pesos in December. However, my dad messaged our group chat on my payday, demanding more money for Christmas. I explained that my salary was allocated for bills and that I could send more on January 1st. He got angry and cussed at me, accusing me of being selfish, ungrateful, and petty, even threatening to throw away the Balabayan boxes when it arrives. He said hurtful things, including wishing I wasn't his child. My sister stood by me, deciding to hold off on additional money until our usual dates, 10th and 25th. Now, our group chat is chaotic. I feel unappreciated and heartbroken, especially since they didn't even call on Christmas and New Year's Eve or let us see the kids. Was I wrong for prioritizing my bills and standing my ground? Now my sisters won't send money either, and I worry the kids will suffer because of this. More info : Balabayan boxes cartons sent within the Philippines, usually filled with food, toys, and household items. Our dad lives 16 hours away by land. And for our next post, am I the idiot for ruining my father-in-law's holidays? I 28-yo-am and my wife 29-yo-f married a year ago. Her family has an interesting dynamic. Her father, we will call him Tom, 70-yo, has been divorced about 6 times and is currently married to a woman. We'll call her Maria, 30-yo. Tom and Maria have been married for 2 years, and for the first 6 months of their marriage, we didn't even know he met someone new. My wife is an extremely accepting person. She welcomes everyone with open arms. I, on the other hand, am a little more skeptical of people. However, I find Maria's behavior a little odd. Whenever my wife and I go to Tom's to visit, she won't acknowledge us. Most of the time she leaves the room. It's gotten to the point where Tom has had to tell Maria that we are over in an attempt to get her to acknowledge us, to which she nods with a smirk. When Maria does talk to us, it's about what we can do for her. For example, when we were getting married, she wanted us to do a destination wedding so she could have an excuse to go on a trip. My wife is constantly chasing after her, trying to create a relationship with her so it's not so uncomfortable when we go over. At first, when she would ask her dad what she did wrong and why Maria doesn't like her, her dad always says, "It's not you, honey, she just doesn't speak English well. She's from Guatemala." But now he has admitted that it was a lie. She can in fact speak English well. And over time, Maria even treats Tom poorly by yelling at him and calling him old and fat. The last 2 Christmases, my wife and I have spent them split at her mom's and her dad's house. And the last 2 times we were surprised by the presence of Maria's whole family there. They live in Guatemala. The entire Christmas they were talking to just each other in Spanish, while we were on the other side of the room. The first year, my wife, who is fluent in Spanish, attempted to talk to them and include them in the festivities. They responded to her, then left the room to spend the rest of Christmas elsewhere in the house. My wife has been absolutely miserable during the holidays. I just want what's best for her and to see her filled with joy again. I told her my concerns and how I wanted to do Christmas and other holidays with just her mom, or maybe see if she can get her dad alone so she doesn't miss out on time with him. She called me crazy, said there's nothing wrong, and that clearly my wife is doing something to upset her and she just needs to figure out how to make the family dynamic work. She then apparently told her dad that she was stressed and wished everything would go back to normal, and she told him what I said. I then got a text from him saying that I was ruining his family, making the situation awkward, and that he was trying to make his marriage and family work, and if I would bow out this easily then I was not cut out to be married. And for our next post, am I the idiot for trying to evict a single mom and her kids right after Christmas? Edit : more info at bottom. My 38F mother, deceased 72, was a severe alcoholic. 6 times medically supervised DTs. Doctors kept telling her it was going to kill her. I fought for a long time to try to keep her sober and alive. About a year and a half ago, my mother moved in a known enabler into her house. Between my uncle and this friend, who we will call C, they also gave my mother opiates above what she was prescribed, and benzos, which she was not prescribed. I have proof. I tried to talk to my mom about getting clean. She'd been clean about 6 months prior to moving in C, but she refused, and I went no contact. I tried calling AITA, Adult and Aging Advocacy Services, but they couldn't do anything, saying she was still an adult and could make adult choices. A year and a half passes. I found out a month after my mother passed away from, you guessed it, cirrhosis and brain damage due to alcohol use, as no one bothered to tell me. Now my mother's house was deeded to me. No contest, it's mine by law. Now C had my mom sign a lease agreement for 3 years, and her and my uncle waved it in my face, essentially going, haha, you can't evict me, and I'm only paying the bare minimum to cover the mortgage, and you have to fix everything out of pocket now. I found a clause in the lease stating no other occupants besides C and her young child, but she had recently moved in her adult son S as well. I started eviction proceedings right before Christmas for lease violations, unauthorized occupant. C tried to send me a year's worth of rent, which is from my mother's life insurance, as C doesn't have a job. She is fighting it, saying my mother wanted us to move in, but has no proof, and is saying I'm an idiot. Her eviction takes effect in 2 weeks. Why I might be an idiot, my friends are torn. Half want her evicted, the other half think I'm an idiot for the timing, but if I accept rent knowing S is in there, I can't evict them later. I'm evicting a single mom right after Christmas. Why I don't think I'm an idiot. This woman knowingly gave my mother illegal things that led to her death, and while she was in hospice had her change all her documents so she could walk away with a ton of money. Now, the only thing that I will inherit, she wants to take away from me by making me pay for her to live on the property, and she is in violation of the lease in black and white. TLDR, I'm evicting my mother's friend enabler, who's a single mom, right after Christmas due to lease violations. Edit info. Thank you all for suggesting a lawyer. I have 2. The estate is split between 2 U.S. states I have been working with. Problem is, lawyers are very expensive. One wants $350 HR, the other wants a $25K retainer or 40% of the estate. We are broke small business owners, so I was able to pull a little out to do some piecemeal work, but can't really afford to cover the cost of a lawyer, the mortgage, and repairs right now, so I'm trying to do what I can as I can. Thank you all. And for our next post, am I the idiot for wanting less interaction with my future MIL? I 29F have been with my boyfriend 31M for a few years now. We cohabitate and talk candidly about our plans to spend life together. I've never been with someone who makes me feel so safe and so loved. The problem is my relationship with his parents, specifically his mother, Diane. I find Diane incredibly overbearing. Being around or speaking with her for extended periods feels like a chore, like conversing with a 10-year-old who needs to control the subject and pace of conversation. On, she is prone to 30-minute monologues. She'll use questions as a jumping-off point to share her own stories or irrelevant details, and will cut me off if I try to change the subject or to speak longer than a minute. During our first in-person visit, she spent an hour giving me an unsolicited tour of her favorite videos and showing me the Facebook pages she manages. It felt like a girl showing off a collection doing show and tell. If I made offhand remarks or asked off-topic questions, I would get cut off and redirected to what she wanted me to listen to or discuss. In group contexts, Diane will resist when people like my boyfriend or husband remind her to give others a turn. If people naturally break off to make side remarks or have side conversation, she'll often stop talking or ask people to come back to the main conversation and share what they were talking about. She'll also tell people not to interject, prevent others from changing topic if she's not done discussing. I find all of this incredibly draining, but have had enough interactions with her to accept that this is just who she is, that she genuinely doesn't mean anything ill by it, and that the best I can do is to be generous and accepting of her, to coexist in engagement without forming a deeper emotional bond than necessary. Unfortunately, though, Diane is also interfering with the relationship I have with my boyfriend's father, Frank, who I genuinely love being with. We formed a genuine friendship. My boyfriend is delighted by this, but has relayed that Diane has been feeling left out when she sees me talking with Frank. She's even requested I speak with her for a few minutes by phone Zoom whenever I happen to interact with my boyfriend's dad for even a few minutes if, for example, my boyfriend calls home and Frank and I happen to overlap via speakerphone. The solution I've arrived at is to limit time generally with both Frank and Diane to preserve my own sense of agency. But this has become a point of tension in my and my boyfriend's relationship. He has repeatedly expressed how he has dreamed of a partner who is deeply integrated with his family. And while he agrees with everything I feel about Diane, he's explained that her tendency to control conversation or to feel left out are connected to her BPD. She's struggled all her life to form friendships, including with her siblings, who avoid interacting with her. Am I the idiot problem here? That's all for now. If you enjoyed the stories, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Got a story to share? Drop it in the comments. I'm always up for reading them. Until next time, it's Kat. Goodbye.